Well, I'm pretty excited today. I picked up this Oliver cletrac oc3. So, it is a gas crawler tractor. Now, it's not running at the moment, but I was told it was running when it was parked in the barn 3 or 4 years ago. So, there really can't be that much wrong with it. The chains and tracks and everything are in good shape. So, it should be a decent little tractor once I get it going. So anyways, Victor's going to come along here shortly and give me a hand. We'll start with, we tried cleaning the magneto and cleaning up the points on it when we went to pick it up just to see if we could get it fired. That helped a bit, but it's just the carburetor. I think the float's sticking in the carburetor because it just won't run. It's like it's not getting fuel. So anyways, I'm going to pull the spark plug and go get some more spark plugs for it. And then we'll do that. We'll clean up the carburetor and see what happens. All right, just as I was about to pull the spark plug out of this, Victor and Dylan came along. So we'll pull a spark plug out of this so Dylan can go grab me some spark plugs for it. And me and Victor will dig into the carburetor and see what we can figure out. We got a plug pulled out. There goes Dylan going to get a new plug. And time to pull off the carburetor. Well, I mean, we did check that. That has happened before.
Yeah, remember the last Oliver?
Yeah, that's right. The last Oliver he's talking about was we moved an Oliver for a friend of mine who didn't have a float trailer, and he bought a tractor, was moving it back to his farm. We got there and they said they could not get the tractor to start. I said, did you check the gas in it? Like, yeah, no, there's gas in it. So I called Victor. It was on a weekend, and Victor was close. He lived close by. So he came out with his truck, and he came over and just tapped the gas tank, opened the cap, and then just looked at me. Ah. But anyways, we put gas in it, and it started a lot easier after that. But yeah, I don't count that as my fault. I did ask.
Well, technically it is still your fault because you forgot the golden rule.
Yeah, always look. Yeah.
Don't trust anyone.
Exactly. Check for yourself.
I have to send you to the house to find a cardboard box.
All right. Sure, we can do that. There might be boxes in that truck.
As long as it's like a cereal box.
No, yeah. I think there's some thinner parts boxes, but if not, there is some cereal boxes at the house.
Board works too, as long as it's coated stuff. Or the not coated stuff.
Bristol board will work too. What we're talking about is to make a gasket for the top of that carburetor there.
Give it.
And just like that, it comes off. Oh yeah, we're gonna need to make a new gasket for that, I think, Vic.
I think we might need to make a new gasket, Cole.
Yeah, that is a very good hypothesis.
I think that one's struggling.
Oh yeah, well you could probably just piece that right back together, eh?
Somebody's already siliconed once.
Yes, I saw that before you took it off. Anyways, we'll make something for that, no big deal. Look clean.
I think there should be more than that running out.
I would think so, yep. And there's not a whole lot to these carburetors.
Since somebody's going to take this as a how-to.
Oh, this is definitely not a how-to.
Make sure you take this out. It will not go back in, and you'll bend it, and you'll very, very upset yourself.
Yeah. Once again, we are not intending this as a how-to. This is just how we get my old junk running.
Who's going to take it as a how-to?
Somebody will take it as a how-to. Yep. See, that gas should have been coming out the end of it, but it was not. And Victor just saw that somebody put silicone on here because they didn't have a gasket. It doesn't look like they did it very well. Just sort of do it yourself. Well, which isn't much better than us, but anyways, there was silicone shoved in these ports here, and that was obviously causing issues.
You don't silicone a carburetor.
You don't silicone a carburetor. Vic just getting all the old gasket and silicone that somebody put on there off of there now.
Some people's kids.
So he does that. Fun fact, I am now the third owner of this machine. So the guy I bought it from bought it off the son of the first owner, actually. But so he was an older gentleman, and then he just got too old. Yeah, anyways, he got too old and he just doesn't use it anymore. He used to use it for skidding out logs for firewood. But yeah, so the son sold it to the guy that I bought it from. And the guy I bought it from just sort of parked it into a barn, was planning on getting it going and using it, and then never got around to it. He had a bunch of other old fun looking tractors there too. But yeah, so that worked out in my favor anyways. Anyways, back to fixing the carburetor.
Do you know how we keep having to go into Napa for things?
I do.
The next time we go, can you grace me with a new jug of not crappy brake clean?
Oh, of course I will, if you remind me to.
Now you're asking for more than I can personally give.
Apparently. I'll do my best.
And then the next time I get the brainwave to buy it from the hardware store again, tell me I'm an idiot.
Maybe I'll slap you a little bit, sure.
Okay.
Okay, appreciate that. And there's a little bit of, there's actually supposed to be a hole in that. That's not full of stuff, if you can believe it. So it's a little bit plugged. Came out of there. So we'll clean that out. 'Cause dang. So Victor, in an effort to avoid firing up the big compressor that's on the truck here, because it just rattles everything, pulled out our little battery compressor here, asked me to throw the needle on the end of her, and he's going to try to use this to clean out the carburetor ports. So, yeah, we'll see if that works. Oh, look at that. Yummy, eh?
Do you
Yummy.
taste it?
No, not really. No. Thank you.
You sure?
Maybe later.
There's supposed to be a hole in the side of that.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, there it is.
I wonder why the fuel wasn't flowing through it. That's weird.
I know, right?
We got a call from Dylan. He found our spark plugs at the local hardware store, and he found some construction paper. So that's what we're going to make our new gaskets out of. Well, Victor continues to clean out these tiny holes. Well, just from looking at it, he's fairly certain that did the trick. So that was a good thought anyway. All right, Dylan got back, brought us some Bristol board. Victor picked out a nice color for me here. Gonna trace this out.
It matches your socks.
Thanks, buddy. Gonna trace this out and make us a new gasket. So we'll trace it out a couple times because we're gonna double it up, make it thicker. And the scraper just happens to have a nice razor blade on it, which works well. So you just traces around the line.
Mostly.
Mostly, as close as you can. It's not exact science. All right, you got a couple there. They even mostly line up. All right, so get those situated, then we'll get the carburetor thrown back together here and we'll see if it works. All right, just getting it back together there. You can see it gives it a nice little pop of color. So I'm sure that'll help the engine running as well. So just put it all back together, we'll put it on and see what happens. And we'll make a gasket for the top part there. Get it down, trace around it, get a couple cut out. Perfect. Okay, got those gaskets cut out. Just throw the carburetor back on the tractor, do some hookups, and see what happens. All right, fuel line's hooked back up, it's turned on. We're just gonna let everything fill up. Make sure it's not leaking from where it shouldn't leak from. The gaskets may get damp before they swell up a bit there, but. All right, so it's back on there. We've left the gas on for a few minutes. It's not sort of leaking out of where it shouldn't be yet. Obviously the battery's dead in this from sitting for so long. Dylan's gonna pull the truck up here so we can get some booster cables on it and we'll see if it wants to start. Oh, right as we pulled the truck up and we're about to hook onto the booster cables and see if it would start, Victor looks at me and says, you think we should put the spark plugs in it? I guess that would give it a better chance of starting, so we'll do that real quick and then we'll see if it starts. Okay. So these ones are a little rusty, have seen better days. So like I said, to give it its best shot, we're just gonna put new plugs in. This right here is a prime example of why we're changing them. I don't think that one was going to fire. So I have checked the fluids in it. The oil is on the stick. It's just below the add line, so it'll be all right for a test drive today if we do get it running, or at least to see if we can get it running. The rad has nothing in it, so we'll put some water in it or some coolant in it again once we go to actually test it. And then we'll see if we can see where it's leaking out of. It may just be a slow leak that we'll just have to keep topped up. But yeah, other than that, everything else looks good. All right, new spark plugs are in. Now we'll hook the booster cables on and see if anything wants to fire. Right, cables are held on. Trying to find the throttle position here. I think, yeah, try there. Okay, check our connections. Aha! Oh! Wow. Well, that's the first time it's been running for a couple of years anyways. A few years, 3 or 4 years, the guy said. That runs really well. There's no smoke coming out of it, nothing. Holy crap. These old engines, you can't kill them. That is super exciting. Looks like the original 2 gauges are in there. Looks like the original amp gauge and oil pressure gauge. Oh, is that amp gauge too? Not looking like any of them work, so we'll put some new gauges on there because it is good to follow the temperature and oil pressure and everything. But one thing at a time. Victor just jumped on and he was trying to see if the clutch is working. It does not seem like the clutch is working. So it's looking like the clutch may be stuck. Okay, so we're going to try the old trick where we drag it forward and try to see if that'll release the clutch. I've tried this a few times. I've seen it tried lots of times. It's not very often that this method works, but it's always a good first try. So we're going to see what happens anyway. Well, the old drag it behind the truck method worked. we got the clutch freed up. It did let go, so that's fantastic. So we don't have to dig into that. Victor's very happy about that. He backed it up away from the truck there, and he just stalled it. So we'll we'll boost it and get it going again, or just hook it back to the back of the truck. Like we bump started it there the first time. Poor Dylan couldn't keep up running behind the truck and stuff here, which I don't blame him. So anyways, we'll get it going again and see what she does. Okay, so it turns out Victor didn't actually stall the tractor. We thought he did, but a spark plug wire has rotted off. So that doesn't bode well for the rest of the spark plug wires. So we took that opportunity, made a quick trip to Napa, got some more spark plug wires, got another battery, and got some coolant. And we got some gear oil for the rear ends, or for the final drives, make sure they're all topped up and everything. So we'll just give it a good little going over here, and then yeah, see if it wants to move around.
You don't even do, Cole?
What's that, Vic?
I'm gonna leave them the length that they are.
Yeah, you might as well. As long as they're not getting tangled up in anything or rubbing on the manifold or nothing, it shouldn't really matter.
Should actually make life a little better for it.
I don't hope so.
They were kind of rubbing on the manifold.
Yeah, well, let's make sure they aren't this time. Reroute. So we got a universal set of spark plug wires, so we could cut them to make them shorter if we wanted to, but there's really no use to it, or really no reason to do it right now. So let's get it all thrown together. So Victor's just crimping the end on this. That's how those work. I meant to show you, but yeah, you can just select the size you want the wires, and you crimp the ends onto it, and then it hooks to the magneto. And then he routes it up around with the rest of them so it's not touching anything hard or rubbing something it shouldn't, and puts it onto the spark plug. But he's just finishing up the last one here. Perfect. Now we'll throw the battery on it, and then we'll test the, see how bad the coolant leak is. Hoping not too bad. Switching the battery. Everyone remember the wire that goes to the push button is the positive, just in case we forget. What wire went to the push button again? Negative, right? Perfect.
Trying to get a slot there, Cole?
Just trying to confuse you? Sorry.
You don't need vice grips.
Why not? Okay, we'll tighten those on, then we'll put some coolant in it and see if it runs out. Cool. Well, I don't see any obvious places where it's running out. If we're lucky, maybe this rod was drained before it was stored. Is a possibility. I don't see anything damp on the back of the rod. Yeah, through the grill I can't see anything either. Doesn't look bad. Hose looks fine? Yep. Okay. Well, we'll top it up with coolant and we'll see what happens. We did realize that the temperature gauge is actually working because it was going up. But the oil pressure gauge wasn't.
Ignore that small drip.
Yeah. Victor overflowed a little bit, which is fine.
There you go.
Perfect. Fire it up and see how she goes. Well, we just fired up again. Sorry I missed that in the video, but All we did really was tighten the battery terminals and then press the button. It fired right up instantly. Victor just touching the adjustments on the carburetor here. Maybe we should tighten that belt. Is it supposed to do that? Oh, okay. Fair enough. Oh, really? That took almost nothing to get it running, though. They just don't make them like that anymore, man. All right, I'm just driving it back over to the service truck here so we can mess with the carb a bit, get her running a little smoother. But man, it turns nice. Got the carburetor adjusted up for now. Let's test it. Let's drive over that pile of garbage with it. See how that goes.
I don't think it's very nose heavy.
Pardon me?
I don't think it's very nose heavy. You don't have a blade to pull you over.
Oh, right. So I just kept climbing up and up, but there's not enough, as Victor said, there's not enough nose weight to bring me back down. So I was just trying to give it a bit more throttle, but I'm like, no, I don't really want to roll over backwards. Victor doesn't want to pull a bulldozer off me tonight. So decided maybe we won't crawl up that high of a pile. It doesn't look that high in the video, but it does make you go straight up. But anyways, fired it back up here. We realized where the coolant leak may be coming from. There's a drain on the side of the engine. It has a very slow drip to it, so we're not going to worry about that. But yeah, anyway. Well, the old girl runs good. I'm going to cut the video off here, but I'll take it for a test drive in the next one. So thanks for watching.